Peace and love, everybody. It's Yourbrozo here. I know I've been around a minute, just been, reconfiguring some things, you know what I'm saying, so we can come correctly, you know what I'm saying, in this upcoming future. And I know interviewing, I like to ask a lot of questions, so I'm going to ask you this question. A couple of questions actually, but here's the deal. Are you fed up yet? Really? Everything, we've been dealing with. Are you fed up yet? I'm going to be really frank. I'm starting up a brand new podcast. It's called the POLKADOT RABBIT Podcast. And the reason why I named it that is because instead of talking about the pink elephant in the room, the polka dot elephant is the one we want to talk about. We need to follow it, and talk about real subjects, with real people. I don't care how many followers you have. I don't care about how, prominent you might be in the social media community, and etc. We need to start having real conversations about real topics. You feel me? The reason why I asked everybody if they're fed up is because, what we're seeing here in this world right now, it's just not right. It's not natural. We all know that. And there needs to be, certain remedies, certain solutions are made just, for us to not only get our right mind, but also start moving forward, so let's talk, because I'm going to tell you something, man, dealing with all the experience I've had, been around the world doing all these different things and meeting all these different people, it's like, everything that I've seen, it's always some type of separation, and also it's all about suppressing people's consciousness. You know what I mean? I don't care what race you are, what color you are, what gender, that doesn't matter. Because at this point, the individuals that are, setting this whole matrix up are coming after you, are coming after us. And it's real interesting. It took me through a journey to realize, all the tools of separation that are put right in front of us, because, racism. Come on, really? I'm gonna tell you something. If you have an inkling inside of you of looking at any other person on this third dimension and having we're all prejudiced. Let's be real, but racist, that's a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? Through my personal experience, I keep it real with you. When I look at a person, I'm gonna be like, oh, well, like a white person, I'll be like, oh, okay, well, I gotta feel them out first before open up, just because it's such an imbalance of positive and negative experience I have with the Caucasian race. But guess what? I still got friends. I still got cats that I still see as close people that that are white, and that goes through all different races. Racism, no, it's whack. You know what I'm saying? If you are still in the mindset in which you can just look at somebody just because the way that they look like and looking differently and hold something against them, then yeah, you back with the old mindset. You know what I mean? I don't care who it is. You know what I mean? My podcast is for open minds. This podcast is for any individual on this third dimension, this reality that we're dealing with. Any individual that wants to elevate, and become the best person they can be. And what I'm going to do is just gather a bunch of people collectively, and we're just going to talk about real situations. I'm fed up. I don't know about y'all, but I'm fed up with these restrictions. I'm fed up, it's like we can't even live naturally in this place. We can't even, this right now is so synthetic. so synthetic and unnatural. It's like I feel like we're like in a cartoon. You know, the Polkadot Rabbit podcast is about we're having real conversations with real people. You know, so the thing is, what I'm starting to realize is that a lot of us don't have the same experiences, so we might have to draw off of other experiences and to get the right resource of information to make right decisions. You know, because I was watching this show on I think it might have been Maury Povich a long time ago. I remember there was this white dude on there, and he was like, he was real proud. He was like, I'm from Texas, and the Ku Klux Klan, they ride down the street, have parades and all that kind of stuff. It's so well, oh man, I'm so proud, you know what I'm saying, and in that interview, they had a panel, had other people asking them questions, and one of the person asked him questions about Latinos, right? And the guy thought that all people that look like Latino came from Mexico, because he was ignorant, because he was from this little town in bumfuck Texas. We have to open our minds. We got to open minds about everything they throw at us. Religion, politics, race relations. I look at this stuff in what is that thing called? Critical race theory. It's like, we all know something happened. How are you going to brush it underneath the rug? These are real events that happen. But here's an issue, is that through time, everything has always been put into favor of the people that are ruling. Everything's been whitewashed to work to benefit other individuals. I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of people that I know of all races that are fed up. They're fed up. They're fed up about being lied to about, by politicians. They're fed up about, going to their priest or their imam, and them telling them just to believe about certain things, you know what I'm saying? And once you do research and find certain things that now you the devil, People are fed up. And here's my thing. There's a small percentage of us, a true small percentage of us that get it. And you know what I'm talking about. There's a small percentage of it, of us that get it. The good book, Bible always talks about in Revelation that 144,000 people will get taken up, except or whatever. But that's like out of 7 billion people. A small percentage of us get it. And what I'm going to do with this podcast is reaching out to you. So if you racist in any way, I don't care what color you are, if you are that ignorant, small-minded enough to be in that mindset, we don't need you. If your mind is full of dogma from some religion you've been told, that's changed your natural way of thinking, we don't need you. If your mind is skewed by what some politician says, we don't need you. I want the people that get it to come and let's talk. You feel me? Let's talk about any subject. Whatever subject comes to you, let's talk. And not only that, let's come up with some type of solutions. Because I'm gonna keep it real. On my journey, I went from thinking, that I was some black heathen because of everything this world presented to me, to realizing true knowledge of self and realizing that I created all this. Not me personally, but my ancestors and everything. The most exact opposite. Everything. There was a TV show. Oh no, a documentary. I can't remember the name of it. It had the crazy looking reptilian man on it. I can't remember the name of it right now, but if I do, I remember it. But I quote it a lot. But one of the guys, he was an old military cat, white dude. He was just like, the people that run all this stuff, they paraphrase, he was saying that they teach you everything wrong. They teach you everything wrong. Math, science, everything that you teach in the school is wrong compared to what they have, so they can get a step ahead. I think about all the time me watching football games and all these different sports, wasting all this time on this small stuff, and these jokers got all the papyruses of Egypt, Samaria, India. They got all this stuff, I'm talking about the ruling class, and they learning all this high level information. We worry about who won the Super Bowl and who won the World Series. From jump, they've had all this information, and all they do is continuously elevate themselves. And we sitting in there going through their schools, learning what they tell us to learn, their system, and we all, you talking about slavery. You know what I'm saying? You talk about slavery. The Polkadot Rabbit Podcast is here for you and everyone. I'm going to talk about every subject that I feel necessary. Because yes, I'm going to tell you straight up. You black people, you need to realize where you came from. You've got to realize where you came from. It is imperative. You got to learn true history. You got to learn where you came from. Because ultimately that's your destination. You understand? You got to go dig deep, internalize. This for y'all specific. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. You white folks, y'all been lied to worse than us. All this stuff you were talking about school, all that stuff, all that history, that fake history, it's a lie. I'm telling you. And you dig deep, and the ones that know it. It's a lie. You know what I'm saying? It is an absolute lie. You just have to put in your mind, literally, that everything you've been told has been a lie. Guess what? It's real interesting because, like, I remember I was talking to one of my homegirls, and she white, in Virginia, and she was talking about my book, and and it was actually two cats. I remember Judson was talking about it. He was just like, it was interesting because in the book I talk about the have and the have not, so to speak. And even though these two people were white, they lived on the opposite side of the tracks. You feel me? They didn't have the plush houses. They didn't have the, I've been to both their houses. I know. They didn't have the plush houses. Their parents worked 2 jobs, you know what I'm saying? And, down in the gutter. So, not down in the gutter, but you know what I'm saying? They worked 2 jobs, you know what I'm saying? Both parents working, you know what I'm saying? Middle class, you know what I'm saying? And, a lot of these cats out there, they're like, I get a certain amount of white privilege, but I don't get that white privilege like they do across the street. You know what I'm saying? On this third dimension, it is fair game. Just because it's you black, don't give you the and you got melanin and all this kind of stuff. It doesn't make you who we used to be back in the day. No, we're actually at the end of the worst part of that. We just waking up. You know what I'm saying? And just because you white doesn't, and even though the system is made up to you, you still have to do what you got to do to get that. You just got a heads up. You know what I'm saying? And all the other thing. But my situation, what I'm trying to get to is this. If you're in this third dimension, and you're living on this planet now, it's even game. And the ones of us that get it, we need to keep on elevating ourselves mentally, because this is the age of Aquarius. It's a new age. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot. This now, for me to see some of these people, especially white people, specifically white people, to be on this tip of being woke and conscious and talking all these different topics that really didn't even get introduced heavily into the European, into Western civilization, to Madame Blavatsky back in the early 1900s, when the New Age really, this occult information started to come forth. This new information, this New Age information is very young. But now you see, because of the day and time is that in the energies of the universe are starting to awaken everybody. You understand? We were dull, dead, so asleep, all of us. And I don't care what race you are, Asian, Latino, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you something, man. The type of guests I'm gonna have coming on here, they're gonna break a lot of this stuff down to a whole new level. So what I'm doing now is I'm starting off the new podcast with Brother Lovell Rowser. And he's a master numerologist. He used to study back there with C. Freeman L., all them cats back there, Bobby Hemmett back in the early 90s, you know what I'm saying, when they go on that circuit. So I'm starting off this because he's going to talk about what to expect in 2022, So if you haven't already, I'm going to put the link in my bio and everything, but yeah, please like and subscribe and sign up, to the Polkadot Rabbit Podcast, because I'm going to devote myself to getting information for y'all, and I ain't talking about arguing and debating about that stuff. No, I'm so far beyond, so far away from people debating and all this stuff in this quote unquote conscious community. Nah, I've seen that stuff. The way I was raised in the conscious community, it wasn't even about not debating on a come attack you level. It's like, all right, let's sit down and build. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build with all y'all. But I'm gonna consistently build with real people. Real people have real topics and real conversation that can elevate us all. So again, what I'm saying, please like and subscribe. On the Polkadot Rabbit Podcast, and stay tuned. But we're gonna be here. All right, peace.